All right, thank you very much. Yeah, so if you've participated in school sports or have a loved one who has, you know that you tend to accumulate a lot of stuff. It could be team photos, ribbons, trophies, team apparel, the list goes on. And a lot of us tend to hold on to that stuff for quite a while. As it turns out, so did the kids who participated in school sports in the 1920s and 30s and so on. They kept these treasured items in large boxes that we call personal archives and passed them on to their children, their grandchildren, and ultimately local historical societies, which become responsible for maintaining, and in the case of the Mount Joy Area Historical Society shown above, displaying them for the public. High school sports memorabilia undoubtedly constitutes part of a region's history, but what can we learn about the significance of school sports programs to community identity by the value these high school athletes, their children, and eventually town and county repositories assign to them? To understand the decisions of these historical societies, I examined the collections of 5 town-level archives throughout PA. Local archives have limited resources, meaning that not every batch of donated materials they accept gets fully processed, and they might not know exactly what they have. This makes it really challenging for historians to access the physical materials that can help us understand more about the past, whether you're looking at school sports or something else entirely. So the first question I needed to answer was, what is in these archives? My project this summer was to produce an organized data set of sports memorabilia in the archives that I visited. I carefully sorted through each box of material, pulling key information for my data set. I also built relationships with the archive's volunteers, who had much more information about these collections than the archival catalog showed. The resulting index of school sports collections that I produced identifies and describes over 600 unique objects, making them more accessible to both researchers and the archival volunteers who handle them. This index also reveals trends in collecting processes that started to answer the bigger questions that I had about the way communities value school sports and construct their own identities. For example, collections that were donated by individuals or families with whom the archival volunteers had personal ties to were way more likely to be processed in high levels of detail than collections from an unknown donor. This leads me to think that personal relationships might have a pretty strong influence on how local historical societies prioritize organizing their school sports memorabilia holdings, even things from 100 years ago. While the work of finding historical evidence in archives can be tedious, it's not merely an obstacle of historical research. The process of getting into the archives and seeing what was there yielded really valuable insights into the way present-day concerns can impact archives' caretaking of the past. Thank you very much.